Essentially, this concept of learning and operating from first principles is the source code to all my work. So much of what we believe is based on some authority figure telling us that something is true. As children, we learn to stop questioning when we're told, because I said so. As adults, we learn to stop questioning when people say, because that's just how it works. The implicit message is you don't need to understand. Just accept, swallow, and follow orders. First principles reasoning cuts through the dogma and removes the blinders from this herd hypnosis. With it, we can finally see the world as it is and see what is possible, even beyond what everybody else assumes is impossible. So know this, when it comes down to it, everything that is not a law of nature is just a shared belief. Money is a shared belief. So is religion. So are borders. So is Bitcoins. The list goes on and on. The thoughts of others imprison us if we're not thinking for ourselves. Mike Lombardi, a former NFL executive, said, "Not everybody that is a coach is really a coach. Some of them are just play stealers." Every play that we see in the NFL was at some point created by somebody who thought, what would happen if the players did this? And then they actually went out and tested the idea until they understood it at its first principles. Since then, thousands, if not millions, of plays have been created. That's part of what coaches do. They assess what's physically possible against the weaknesses of the other teams and with the capabilities of their own players. And then they create plays using those first principles designed to give their team an advantage. The play stealer, however, works off what's already been done by others. Sure, they may add a tweak here or there, but by and large, it's just copying something else that somebody else created. And boy, isn't this true for most business owners and people who are put in positions of leadership? They don't really understand the real architecture of the game. At the level of the fundamentals, at the first principles, most are mostly play stealers, just copying, mimicking, modeling, imitating, or unconsciously repeating the patterns of what they see others doing or what they saw others do when they were a follower. While both the coach and the play stealer start from something that already exists, they generally have very different results. These two people look the same to most of us on the sidelines or watching the game on television or watching them give a speech at the staff meeting. Indeed, they look the same most of the time. But it is when something goes wrong, that is when the difference always shows. While both the coach and the play stealer call successful plays and unsuccessful plays, only the coach can determine why a play was successful or unsuccessful and then figure out how to adjust it. The coach, unlike the play stealer, understands what the play was designed to accomplish, what the first principles to it were, and thus know where it went wrong, and then he or she can easily course correct. But the play stealer has no idea what's going on. He doesn't understand why it didn't work. It worked for that other guy, that other coach, that other leader. It worked before. Why didn't it work now? They don't know why the play or the promotion or the market strategy or the employee incentive plan didn't work. It played right into the other team's strengths, played right into the hands of your competitors, played right into the fears and suspicions of your team. It's like the difference between a cook and a chef. While these terms are often used interchangeably, there's an important nuance between the two. The chef is an innovator, a person who invents recipes. She knows the raw ingredients and how to combine them. The cook uses a recipe probably designed by a chef. When he cooks something, perhaps making slight variations, he's making something that's already been created by somebody else. Oh, and if the cook loses the recipe, he's screwed. The chef, on the other hand, understands the flavor profiles and combinations at such a fundamental level, at the first principle level, that she doesn't even use a recipe. She has real knowledge as opposed to just know-how. Essentially, this concept of learning and operating from first principles is the source code to all my work. It's what I do for you. I teach you the first principles of high achievement. The compound effect itself is entirely first principles for personal success, the very fundamentals and source code to your personal operating system. Instead of you trying to copy other people's productivity practices, which is what most people teach and others try to follow unsuccessfully, I give you the first principles of extreme productivity inside insane productivity. The success vital system, the framework of those first principles on top of which you build your daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, and yearly methods of operation. And tell us, in your business practices and in your personal life, have you been more of a first principles coach or a play stealer? A chef or a cook? Look, have no shame. We are all somewhere on the spectrum between the two. Just tell us what percentage you are between chef and cook, and make your confession in the comments below.